Today I made 3 mini Disney princess cakes using Wilton's Wondermold pan. Say hello to Belle, Ariel, and Cinderella. Disney princesses are always the craze, and Belle, Ariel, and Cinderella are always at the top of that craze. And now they're making all these live action movies, so of course the craze is just going to keep on going, and I can't deny that I love them just the same. Instead of making one Disney princess, I decided to make all 3 in mini version. I used Wilton's Wondermold, which looks like this. It actually makes the cake in just like a half sphere. It's actually a little bit bigger than a half sphere. And it comes out perfect for the size of a little princess. And they actually also made these little dolls that come in 4 to a pack. Sorry, she's a little naked. But they come 4 to a pack, and they come in black, red, blonde, and brunette, I think. So yeah, they work perfectly. They go right into the cake, and they're perfect size. And I made all 3 just changing their outfits, and it worked out great. To begin making these cakes, I made some chocolate cake and filled the mold to the top. Once they were made, freeze them for at least an hour so that they're easier to work with. For Cinderella and Ariel, I decided to leave their bottoms smooth like their dresses. But for Belle, I used a knife to cut out little slits into her dress to give the dress some dimension once I put the fondant on top of it. For all 3 cakes, I made some chocolate Swiss meringue buttercream, gave them each a crumb coat and then a final coat of icing. You'll know which princess I'm working on by her picture in the left-hand corner. I started with Belle and rolled out some light yellow fondant for the bottom of her dress. These cakes are so easy to cover because they're so little. I covered the little half sphere in fondant and then quickly used my hands to dig a little bit deeper into each of the indents, making sure that they all peek through and give the dress some depth. Then use a knife to cut off the excess fondant. For Cinderella and Ariel, I decided to give the dresses a little bit of white frill underneath the dress. To do this, I rolled out some white fondant as thin as possible. Then cut them in strips. You don't have to worry too much about the height used here because it'll be covered by the dress color anyways. Fold over the white fondant, creating little curves and waves, and lay it over the cake using the bottom board as your guide. You just need one layer at the very bottom for this. Then cover Cinderella in light blue and use your fondant tools to create a little bit of ruffles in her dress. Use your scissors to make the dress slightly shorter so that you can see all the frills underneath. Don't push your dress all the way down onto the cake. Dresses are supposed to be a little bit puffy, so it looks more draped and realistic if you just let it fall. Then do the same thing for Ariel, also making 3 ruffles going straight down the middle of her dress. My favorite princess for sure is Mulan. I think she is definitely the most badass, the most strong-willed, the most fierce princess there is, and I love her, and I feel like, I can relate to her a little bit. I think she's great. I also really love Jasmine and Ariel just because I've always loved them, but I definitely think Mulan is the best role model so far. She's great. I really want to know, who's your favorite princess and why? Let me know in the comments below. I'm sure everyone has a different favorite for a different reason. Now to make the top of their bodies. I covered each of their bodies in a very thin layer of shortening before I started so that the fondant would be able to stick to the bodies. For Ariel, I used some darker pink fondant to make the upper part of her dress. Ariel's dress has long sleeves, a high neck, and poofy sleeves, so her top actually took a little bit more effort to get this to stick to Ariel without making it look too bulky. Try not to use too much fondant when doing this. It can start to look a lot like she's wearing a sweater very quickly. For her poof sleeves, I created 2 circles and folded them over to create little semicircles. I then stuck those to the top of her sleeves and shaped them with my fondant tools. In the same slightly darker pink, I rolled out 2 ovals to create the side parts of her dress. I have no idea what those are called. I cut them to size before I stick them on with water. I then used a tiny rolled out strip of white fondant to create little details on her waist, her neckline, and her sleeves. Honestly, the hardest part of this video was making the hair on Cinderella. These dolls are not meant to be Disney princesses, so you could have just left their hair out. But because I was trying to make Cinderella, I had to put so much gel in her hair and tie it really tight and use like 20 rubber bands just to get her hair in that ugly bun. It took me 20 minutes and that was the best I could do. Sorry, it is what it is now. For Cinderella, I did the exact same thing but made her shirt without sleeves so that I could add on the little blue sleeves afterwards. I added on a little bit of side poofs to her dress just like Ariel's, but slightly smaller. I also folded it over at the tops to make it look a little bit more poofy at the waist because Cinderella won't have any white ribbon covering her waist. Then add a little bit of light blue short sleeves to her top with a little bit of shortening or water. Then, because her hair is so ugly, I added a little bit of a dark blue strip as a headband to cover up the rubber bands. Unfortunately, Wilton dolls only come looking like this. So I didn't even use this doll because I don't think that there's any black-haired princesses out there. Unless I'm wrong, if I am, let me know in the comments below. I couldn't think of any, so I didn't use this one. And I also, of course, couldn't make Mulan, Jasmine, or Tiana in this round because I didn't have any dolls that match their faces or skin. So maybe they'll develop them and I can make them at another date. I'll buy the dolls and maybe make those for another video, but the minis don't have them. With Belle, I made her a little tube top, which was the easiest one to do. For her dress, I made little semicircles out of fondant and tinted them in yellow. I then glued them in between the indents in her dress. I then added a strip of the same color to go around her collarbone and the back. With some gold luster dust and some clear lemon extract, I painted the dark yellow fondant to look more golden. I also rolled little edible pearls in some gold luster dust and added them between each of the golden ruffles with some tweezers to add a little bit more bling. Then to top it off and make them look even more princessy, I brushed all three with some pink, blue, and yellow luster dust to make them shine a little bit more. And that's it. I hope you like these princesses. If you want me to make more mini princesses, please let me know in the comments below which ones you'd like to see. Okay, I absolutely love how these princess cakes turned out. They turned out so cute. If you like them, please be sure to give them a thumbs up. And if you haven't yet seen my last videos, please click here to watch them. And don't forget to subscribe to this channel by clicking right over here on my floating face. Thank you so much for watching, and I'll see you next week. Bye!